Well, hey, welcome to the Gritty Women Global Podcast, episode 132. My name is Lynn Brown, and we're happy that you've joined us today on the Gritty Women Global Podcast. Just a quick minute to let you know who I am. I'm a results coach. Now, prior to this, hear me out. I was a world-class people pleaser, and then in my spare time, I was trapped in comparison. And when I say trapped in comparison, it was more like living in a mental prison. And then, one day I just got sick and tired of it. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I drew a line in the sand, and I bet on me. I mean, I'm talking about like for the first time ever. I'm not proud of this, but, everybody has their first day. So, I literally spent the first half of my life hitching my wagon to other people's stars. I swear, I probably would have joined the circus if they had offered me a position. But I'm glad I didn't do that. But it was so cool because when I began to change the way that I looked at things, the things that I looked at began to change. Now, I'm not talking about in 24 hours. There's no instant quick fix. But I can tell you this, since that time, I've been on a steady upward growth journey. There's no way that I would be where I am today if I had not hit that reset. It truly refreshed and renovated my life. So let me give you all hope. If you're in a place and you're feeling stuck, or maybe you have this big dream God has placed in your heart, and trust me, what God does for one gritty sister, He will do for another. So today, let's lean into what holds us back and what propels us forward. Now, I don't know about you, but I was raised in church, Sunday school, the whole 9 yards. I heard all the messages. I memorized the Bible verses. I got the Sunday school pins. I knew all the flannel board Bible stories that were ever told. But what was missing later on as I became an adult was the methods for applying these messages. Actually applying the word to my daily life. And when I began to stand on these promises and when I began to believe them for me, things began to change. I started with my thoughts and my favorite verse. Well, I say my favorite one. There's so many, but the one my go-to is Romans 12:2. I knew my mind had to be renewed. And that meant I had to take inventory of my default thoughts. I had to begin to rewire my brain. My playlist was no longer serving me. It was way too small. My self-limiting beliefs were holding me back. Now, 10 years ago, if you had told me that our Gritty Women Global Podcast would have been in 25 countries, I would have just said, surely you jest. So today, I truly just want you to think about where you are. And that sounds silly because, obviously you know where you are, but think about where you are and where you want to be. We could even take that down to a bite-sized morsel, and even by the end of December, is there something that you could start today, September the 27th, that you could improve on a result by the end of the year that you would be happy to take responsibility for? Maybe it's drinking extra water, exercising, maybe it's saving a little bit of money, maybe it's calling a client that you've been putting off. Here's the thing. In order for you to get where you want to go and climb the mountain that you were created to climb, it's going to be in those uncommon times that growth happens. That's how you're going to get to the next level. And I just want to tell you, I heard Ed Millett say this not long ago, but you are the most qualified person. You are the most equipped person to help the person that you used to be. I just think that is so rich. But, wherever you have been through your life or wherever you might be right now, what if you could sow into somebody's life in that area? I will tell you the last 30 days have really been a game changer for me. I had a friend that reached out to me I actually reached out to her, but I said, hey, I want to talk to you about what you're doing. And it was something, honestly, that it's almost just comical that that Lynn Brown would be even having these discussions with people about uh, taxes or rebates or anything like that. So it was just kind of funny, the whole thing was. And at first, I almost shrunk back. I almost just stayed where I was in that comfortable zone, even though I wasn't getting the results at the time that I was wanting. I was kind of beating my head against the wall in a couple of areas. And but at the same time, for this last 2 years, I've really been leaning into the true purpose and call of my life, and how I was, I'm on this journey, I mean, to get to where I want to go. And so anyway, I had that discussion with her, and I was like, you know what, I'll give this a try. And what I realized was that even though at first I thought this is not your wheelhouse, I realized it was, because it was still adding value to people. I'll tell you more about that at the end. But my main point is, if I had not stepped out in faith into the deep water, into the unknown, into a place that I really wasn't comfortable at all, but if I had not done that, then these last 30 days would look totally different than they do right now. And I will tell you that where we are right now, with just the change in the workplace, the change in income, the change in the price of a loaf of bread or a bag of chips or eggs at the grocery store. I mean, we are seeing some big changes right now. And so what this did was, when I was willing to take that step into the uncommon area, unknown, the water so deep, I mean, it was just so deep over my head. But if I had not done that, then I would not be, looking at some amazing steps, for our family financially by the end of this year. Now, y'all know I'm a big, big proponent on daily gratitude, and also on writing down, the mission, the dream, the vision that I see for my life. And what I do is I write those things down every day. 8 things. I've been writing this for years, and these are things that I am already acting as if they had happened. So one of the things is, several years ago, went through a really bumpy financial time with another business, and actually went through bankruptcy with that business. And I had to release the land that my daddy had given us before he died. He gave us all some land, and I had to sell my land. And that was a really hard place. It was a hard time for me. But this is one thing I knew. I knew that there would come a day. There would come a day when I could buy that land back. So I've been writing that for several years now, and this is just so wild, as only God can do, but God. But I've been writing down the date, October 22nd. Now, a couple months ago, back in the midsummer, I was like, sister girl, you checked out that those 8 dreams as if they'd happened that you've been writing down. What you gonna do? How's this gonna happen? And I started to begin to think, well, you can always, you never change your dream or your goal, but you push the date back. And I thought, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I can push the date back and be okay with that. Well, because 30 days ago I stepped out into the unknown, because I took a step, and I was afraid, and I did it anyway. I almost talked myself out of it, but I did it anyway, and I became an affiliate with this team that is helping businesses, small to medium businesses, get their tax refund rebates back. It's leftover money from COVID relief I knew nothing about, but the income, the commission that I've earned this past month, well, guess what? I have earned the money to buy my land back. And so I tell you this not to brag, of course. I think y'all know me by now enough to know that's not it, but to encourage you to run towards what sets your soul on fire, even if you have to do it afraid, even if you don't even feel like you've accomplished everything and you know what you're doing. Step out in faith, regardless of it, where it's picking up being your daughter or your son's soccer coach and you don't know what you're doing. Do it anyway. That's how we learn. I mean, I always go back to the analogy of the child. What if the child, the first time he stumbled, when he got up from crawling, was trying to hold on to the coffee table and take that first step and he fell? What if he said, "That's it, I quit. It's too hard, I'm not doing it." And we had adults crawling around everywhere down the road. We don't see that because those kids are resilient. And guess what, Gritty Sister? You are too. You are too. And so I don't want you to beat yourself up when you find yourself up against a wall, or when you feel like, oh, I'm whining about something and there are people that have it so much worse off than me. That's really not a point for you, because everybody's going through their own battles and they all look different to everybody, but they don't look different to your Creator and to our Big Daddy in heaven, our Creator God. He does not look at all these things like, oh, Sally's got it much more, you know, what she's going through is worse than what Susie Q's going through, or Bethany, or, you know, whoever. It's not about that. Regardless of the size, whatever, however we size up the things that we're going through, whether it's health, finances, relationships, time, busyness, you know, whatever it is, God sees you. He has created you for more, and we are designed to truly have heaven on earth, to be walking around down here full of joy. Yes, we're going to have hard times, but in those times we will have the strength to press on. So I just wanted to just share that with you, that 3 months ago I was writing buy my land back in October 22, and 3 months ago there wasn't the money in the account to do that. And in 30 days, everything has changed because I was willing. So let me ask you, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to suspend all those default behaviors of what will people think? I mean, y'all, I've tried a lot of different things in my life, and I'm not going to lie to you. When I first heard about this opportunity, I thought, one of the things I thought of, boom, that old message was coming back, that old paradigm. Lynn, what, people are going to laugh at you. First of all, you don't even know what you're talking about here, but they're going to laugh at you because now what are you doing? But it's not that I've stopped. I'm still coaching. I'm still training. I'm doing all that. But this is just adding value to to people in a different way, money back to their businesses. So anyway, that's it for today. I just wanted to leave you with that. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing? Just yesterday I was talking to somebody and they're like, no, I already have a plan. I already have a company. I already have something. And they're like, no, I'm not interested. But if mine ever goes upside down, I'll call you. Well, later on, that person thought about that for a minute and said, you know what? I'm open to listening to this info about this company. So go today and just ask yourself that question. What am I willing to do? What are you willing to do? And do you really believe that it can happen for you? So just in case you picked up on anything that you heard and you want more information on this, it's a short window of opportunity. I mean, this is like an 18-month window. This is not a long lasting opportunity, but it's something that is adding value, hope, and encouragement to small to medium businesses from 1 to 500 employees. So if you're interested in that, hey, just give me a shout out. You can email me, Lynn, Lynne, at lynnbrown.net, or you can give me a call, 850-464-1350, and I'll be happy to help you. Have a great day. Stay gritty, and remember, gritty is the new strong. Take care. See you next week.